everyone. It's the Snowman with TooLoud2OldMusic.com. Welcome back to the collection. And we're to the end of another month, which means it's time to do a wrap up. We wrap up with everything that we got during the month and added to the collection. And this one, of course, is May 2024's wrap up. We got some cassettes, CDs, and some vinyl. We're going to start with the cassettes. I was over at Mad Jack's, I think was the record store. Went through their cassettes and they had a Bon Jovi one that I was missing. 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the melting point of rock. This one says it includes lyrics and also a rock star trading card. And surprise, the trading card was actually still inside. Here's the cassette. Um, and then on the J card, it actually does have the lyrics, which you can't see, but the lyrics are there. So I was really happy to get that one. That was one of the few I'm missing. The only one I was missing from the early years of Bon Jovi. So glad to have that one. And then over at Noble Records, I found some Kiss cassettes. He had three of them on up for sale, and lo and behold, they were the three I was missing. First one, the debut, which is Kiss. This is a definitely reissue because it's on the clear and it's got inside, it's got that. So, and all the lyrics. So it's got a nice little, it's not just a blank one. Um, so I was happy to finally have that one. And then they also had the second album, Hotter Than Hell. Um, this one is, of course it's a reissue, but from a later year. Nothing on the J card. It's blank inside, but that's okay. Glad to have it because I was missing it. And another one I was missing, Rock and Roll Over. Same, just like the last one. Nothing on the J card. Um, this one was left midstream, so I need to rewind that and see if it actually works. I'll be happy to. I don't play my cassettes very often, and I don't collect a ton. I do collect all the Kiss. I do collect the Def Leppards, the Bon Jovis, and then any other ones that kind of catch. And I've got a bunch of Whitesnake too. So those are probably the four main ones that I've been collecting. Then it was on to CDs. I got one new release, and it is Will Hoge, Tenderhearted Boys. I got the vinyl, and we talked about the vinyl last month. But the CD was not back ordered, but they delayed the CD a month. So I was glad to finally have this. It's his new album, very, very personal album for him. Uh, and it's kind of like it's country, southern rock kind of mixture, folk, I don't know, whole bunch of stuff. But he's one of my favorite songwriters, and so I was happy to get the CD on that as well. I pretty much have all his CDs, so it's good to keep up with that. And then something else I picked up over at Mad Jack's was Ghost. This one is Ceremony and Devotion, so it's a 2 CD live album. The CDs are not in here because they're actually in my CD player because I was listening to it yesterday. Um, Great show. His voice, I mean, it sounds just like the records. So if you like Ghost, you need the live album. It's great stuff. Uh, and if you've seen the show I've mentioned, I do collect Billy Idol stuffs, which includes Generation X. This is the anthology. It is a 3 CD anthology. It has a greatest hits on the yellow disc. On disc 2, which is the blue, it's the original release of Sweet Revenge, which was an album that Gen X recorded that never officially got released. And then we'll talk about that when I go through my Gen X stuff on Sweet Revenge. It did get released. It was not official. Tony James and Billy Idol did not approve it, but it did get released. I have a copy. But now I've got an official CD. And then disc 3 is awesome. Disc 3 is a unreleased live show from Osaka, Japan in 1978. So this is one hard to come by, a little pricey at times, but I'm glad to finally have this one in my collection. And I've already played it several times. And every month, I always try to get a Kiss CD that I'm missing. Vinyl's always been my focus, and now I'm kind of onto the CD since I have pretty much everything on vinyl for the most part. Um, I got Kiss Dynasty, one of the remastered versions. Um, Still sealed. I haven't opened it yet and listened to it. Um, but that was my Kiss one for this time. So, uh, and then I got into a bug on Rick Springfield. Grant's Rock Warehouse, believe it was Grant's Rock Warehouse, did a whole thing on Rick Springfield, and so it made me want to run out, and I went out and got the original album classics. So this has Comic Book Heroes, which is from early mid 70s. Then it jumps to Working Class Dog, and it's got some bonus tracks on it. Success Hasn't Spoiled Me Yet, Living in Oz, and Towel. I have all of these on vinyl except for Comic Book Hero. I don't have that one. But I didn't have the CDs. So I grabbed the CDs, and then another CD for them I was missing was Karma. Um, and well, this one's really good. I'm not real familiar with this one. I have the one that came after this, the Shock, Denial, Anger, Acceptance, but I hadn't really heard this one. So I'm glad to finally have Karma. Um, Nothing special. It's got the inside, which you can't see. Um, and then the disc has that cover on it. The next one I got is also a Rock Candy purchase, and it is Rick Springfield. This is Rock of Life. Um, so the Rock Candy edition has bonus tracks of The Language of Love and an extended remix of Rock of Life. And this one is a great album. I like this one. But it wasn't the only rock candy that I bought this month. I originally bought this one, Subject Aldo Nova. No bonus tracks on it, but it is remastered. And I do love Aldo Nova. I have it on vinyl. I needed it on CD. And this is my favorite Aldo Nova album. Somewhat of a loose concept album, very different from the debut with Fantasy and stuff. But it's my favorite. So out of all of his albums, this is the one I go to the most. So I ended up getting two Rock Candy ones this month, where normally I only grab one. All right, so then we're on to the vinyl. Uh, First up is a brand new release, the 30th anniversary of Collective Soul. This is Here to Eternity. It is a beautiful album. It is a double LP. Here's the first album sleeve, and it is on gold vinyl. And then the second one is more pictures, more lyrics, and another gold vinyl. So I'm a huge Collective Soul fan. I have everything on vinyl that they've released. I know the first, I don't know, batch of albums that they had were not on vinyl because they're in the 90s, or if they were, they're impossible to find and too expensive. But they've been reissuing them for record store days and things like that. I know the last three or four newer albums they've released on vinyl. I have all of those. I think that is my ninth Collective Soul vinyl. Um, and now we're going to jump back to Mad Jack's. When I was at Mad Jack's picking up the cassette and that CD, I found this Motley Crue bootleg, On with the Show. This is Fresno, Boston, 1986. The sound is actually really good. Um, Vince Neil hadn't started phoning it in yet. If you want to see that, it says Toasted Records. Um, and it is just a black vinyl. Nothing special about the color or anything. But it is a 2 LP set. It's a great set list because this is 1986. So this is Theater of Pain and Back. So those first three albums are on here heavily, which is what I really wanted. Those first two album live shows or songs from those two, just fantastic. So this was much better than I was kind of expecting with, Vince's vocals. But he also had another bootleg, and it was Aerosmith, Rattlesnake Shake. This is your typical 70s, 80s bootleg with a flyer instead of an actual release. So this was from Counterpart Studios in New York City, 1974. Uh, just very early Aerosmith. This show is fantastic. I was just blown away by how good it was. Bluesy, I mean, just awesome. Um, it is on. They had this really cool skeleton little label, Speed Disc Records. Um, it's just a one disc, so it's not a long show, and it might not even be an actual show. It might have just been a promo thing that they were doing. But oh, it's fantastic. Sometimes you get lucky on the bootlegs, and they're really really good. And then we were talking about Billy Idol with Generation X. I talked about this album last week when I went through my Billy Idol vinyl. And the reason I went through my Billy Idol vinyl because I got the piece that I was missing. And this is Cyberpunk. Um, this was his early 90s album, 93 ish. I guess I could look and see for sure. Um, very different, very experimental. Um, very hard to find on vinyl. This I got, I want to say from Greece. There's only like a European version and stuff, so really hard to find and pricey. So I sold a couple things and finally bought that. I had some duplicates on some stuff, so that's why I don't usually throw away my duplicates. Eventually, I will sell them and get something I really need for them. And don't ask why I have duplicates because it's stupid old man forgetting that he bought it kind of thing. Um, and then the past weekend, I was Noble Records, and these are reissues, but I don't have them on vinyl. And this is Aerosmith's Nine Lives. Um, like I said, it's a reissue. It's on black vinyl, um, but it's got some cool artwork on the inner sleeves. Um, I like that. And it is just black vinyl, so you've seen black vinyl before. It's great stuff. Not the best album, but I was missing it. I mean, I do think the best song on here for me easily is Where Taste of India is probably my favorite song that they've done in the latter years. But this has I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Diane Warren and Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees. So it's got some good songs, but Taste of India is kind of my favorite. So I was glad to have that one. And then they had another Aerosmith, but this again is not an original. It is a reissue from 2017. It's Get a Grip. Um, this one I love. One of my favorite albums that's not from the 70s. I love Eat the Rich, Living on the Edge. Like lyrics. Got a great picture of the band there. I love this picture here. And then we've got Stretchy Face Man. Um, so yeah, really excited to finally have these two albums on vinyl. And again, that's Get a Grip. Uh, so that gives me most. I think I have everything from the debut now up to at least Nine Lives. I might be missing actually the greatest hits. Uh, I don't know why I don't have that one, but we will go through Aerosmith one day and I'll do all of them. And then the last thing that I picked up is Noble Records does these exclusives, and every month or so he has one or two. This month, May, he had two, but the other one hadn't shown up when I did this video. So I only have the first one. And it's a band called Backjack. So Backjack is from 1974, around that time. It's just a rock and roll, just a heavy guitar, hard rock album. Fantastic. If you like a lot of guitars and just, that 70s style rock, you would love this. It does give you a nice little story on the band, gives you the lyrics and everything, and it is on a really pretty orange colored vinyl. So from Riding Easy Records, this one, if I'm not mistaken, is exclusive to just 300 copies. And he's already sold out of this one. Luckily, I got in my order when I saw it come out. They're so, if you go into his store, I think he still has some, but online they're sold out. The other one he had for this month, I think it's called Cold Sun, very psychedelic rock. It's still available, and if you want to catch that one, he's got a couple more that are still available. But that one right there is one of my new favorites of his. And I've got like 25 of his exclusives, and it's taken me outside my comfort zone. So really great stuff. And that is everything I have for May 2024. So hopefully you enjoyed it. It wasn't as much as April, but I think I had some really good stuff in there and real excited to spend more time with them. So we'll see you again next week for a new show. And next month we'll do another roll up. So thanks. Hit like, hit subscribe, and y'all have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next week on The Collection.